Welcome back. This is War 2, Season 38. We are facing New Nation today, and I'm bringing Corvus, Spider-Man 99, and Anti-Venom. I'm going to be starting out on Path 2 in Section 1, and my first fight is a Rentra. And the node itself has Limber that you can prevent if you have a buff, and then it has the new placebo buff things. So I know why they placed Rentra here. When you hit Rentra, he puts a neutralize on you. The neutralize prevents buffs, right? Anytime Rentra prevents buffs, he gets a power gain, and he builds his mystical charges. So at some point, all of his abilities start kicking in with those mystical charges. As a result of that, I decided I wasn't going to hit him at all. If I never hit him in this fight, I don't have to worry about neutralize. I don't have to worry about him building mystical charges. And I don't have to worry about the neutralize preventing the placebo buffs from pausing my debuffs. Because even though Spidey can't get buffs, Rentra's neutralize can stop him from pausing his own. Because when you would dash back in Dex, the Dex buff would get replaced by Spidey's abilities, but the neutralize stops that from even happening. So as a result, the pause doesn't happen. Now, I don't know if I were to remove the Dex Mastery, if I would be able to pause them while I was neutralized. That's something I would like to test, and this fight actually made me think about that. But I figured if I just hit his block, this would be a really, really easy fight. I wouldn't have to worry about anything at all. And the node would take care of all of the normal dash back to pause debuff Spider-Man 99 work that you have to do. And it worked. He went down really, really easily. Now after this, I have a Longshot here. So this node, I don't know exactly what the specifics on this one are. It still has the placebo buffs. It didn't really feel like it mattered. This just is going to feel like a Longshot that I don't have to worry about pausing my debuffs against. I actually think it's if you do similar hits in a row, almost like Mixmaster, it puts a placebo buff on you, something like that. I don't know. All I know, the node doesn't mean a thing. The one thing I had an issue with in this fight was Longshot was being a bit of a dick. He's going to catch me here. He didn't want to throw his special, and he had Pure of Hearts. So if that special hit me, or if it pushed him to a special 2, I would have been dead right there, because the AI was being dickish about throwing the special, and he ended up getting a couple of hits in on me. But finally got it out of him, and come out of it with a 93% Spidey. So all in all, good fight. Next up, have this Mangog on 24, which literally does absolutely nothing. If you get a buff on the node, he gets a regen, and when he gets a regen, he's unblockable. But Spidey can't get buffs. And if Mangog had an armor, I'd be glancing, but Mangog doesn't have an armor. So this is literally just like an arena fight with more health. And to be honest, I actually kind of found it weird that with S99 open, Path 2 had 3 out of the 4 path fights as Mystic Champions. I'm not sure if NewN did that on purpose. If they did, I'm not really sure why. The only thing I can think of is they split Section 2 with Tech Champs. It went like Tech Champ, Mystic Champ, Tech Champ. So, I mean, if they were trying to get me to change my masteries a bunch, or a player, not necessarily me, to change masteries a bunch, I mean, that worked, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just like maybe 40 to 50 units each swap. No biggie. Actually, probably not even that much, because I was only changing one mastery tree, and that was the first one. I don't even know what that one's called. Offense, maybe? I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention to that shit. But, so I put Suicides on for this OS, and it's just a straight up generic Corvus fight. I used a Power Star 1. I probably really didn't need to. Yeah, I don't think I needed to. was a super quick fight. It would have just been 20 seconds more without a Power Star 1. So now I took Suicides off, and you can see the number 7 up there. That's because I literally just took the Suicides off, and after this fight, when I go to put them back on, I'm going to put those 7 mastery points back into my first screen of masteries. I still have the Power Star 1 for this fight. Didn't need it for this fight, but it just ended up carrying over. And this is just a Chavez on EMP mod, and then something with the placebo buffs once again, which end up pausing my debuffs. Although watching this, I don't see them actually triggering, I guess. So I'm not sure if you have to do something specific to get the placebo buffs to trigger on this node. If you do, I wasn't doing it looks like. Or I wasn't doing it the entire time. But it's going to be a super easy Chavez fight. S99 just destroys Mystics. And she's going to go down. So next up, I have Cap Sam on 46. And Corvus has 1 charge. So put Suicides back on. Don't need a Power Star 1. It's just going to be ignore the node. Parry, medium, light, medium, launch a special 1, maybe, if I wanna, or just hit him till he dies. He is gonna parry me off of a heavy counter, but it stuns me for such a short period of time. So he parries me and then he launches a special from it, but I come out of the stun before, right here. He launches a special, I come out of the stun, and I'm able to block the whole thing. So this guy did not have his parry masteries maxed out for defense from the looks of it, because I run limber, but limber wouldn't have let me come out of that quick. I mean, it would have been quick, but I would have got hit with that special if he had full parry masteries for his defenders. So next up, I have this Mordo, and I've taken this Mordo once before, and the fucker killed me. It was not with Conduit, but the first time I took it, probably a couple seasons ago, I did not have a White Mags pre-fight. So what ended up happening was I had to bait a ton of heavies, and when Mordo charges his heavy, he gets Furies. And when buffs expire on this node, that's when the Falter comes into play. So that ended up turning into a shit show of Falter for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes if I recall, just trying to get out of a Falter cycle. And it never quite happened because of the power gain and the Furies and all that fun stuff. So with a White Mags pre-fight, this fight is laughable. And I was excited to get back in and have another go at it, because I went back and I watched my old fight, and I figured out immediately that the White Mags was the difference. And as you can see, it was, what, like a minute maybe? And it was super easy. So next up, I have this Galan here. I put Suicides back on, and this is the mistake of the war fight. I forgot to take Resonate off, and this is a Conflictor node. So I'm going to realize this when I trigger the weakness, and he gets a ton of power. Right there. I was like, oh, shit. I forgot to remove Resonate. Okay, let's see how this goes. She throws the first special 1. I dex it, and I've dexed every single special 1 from this guy that I've ever encountered, and right here I'm gonna fuck it up. And yeah, so I launched my special 2. I knew that my glaives were gone, but I knew that they would come back by the end of it, and I'm actually glad I launched it when I did, because I think if I launched it with full, it might have given me too much power at the time. So I have to get that special 2 out of him. He backs me into a corner. I launch the special 2, block, launch the special 2, and I'm able to recover the fight. If I didn't get hit by that special 1, I think it would have been a much, much cleaner fight, even with Resonate on. But the Resonate thing definitely kind of threw me off at first. So we ended up winning this one. It was not the cleanest war on our end, but we ended up coming out victorious, which is all that matters. So good luck to New Nation for the rest of the season. And thank you very much for watching.